In this video, we will compare the structures of capillaries, arteries, and veins. We will also relate structural differences to functional differences and its purpose.
So for arteries, the blood is coming directly from the heart. So it's got a high pressure, high velocity, and that's part of the reason that the arteries have very thick walls, is to accommodate the high pressure and high velocity. The connective layers are smooth muscle, epithelium, and connective tissue.
Next we have veins. They have a lower pressure because they're returning to the heart. They have a kind of a more medium velocity after going through the blood going through the capillaries, and they contain valves to prevent backflow of blood. They have thinner walls because they don't need to accommodate for a stronger pressure, and they have the same layers as the arteries: connective tissue, smooth muscle, and epithelial layer.
Capillaries are the bridge between veins and arteries. They have a very large surface area. As you can see, the pressure level is very medium. Velocity is the slowest. They have thin walls, allowing gas exchange, and the layers are basal lamina and epithelium.
Arteries. The pressure and velocity of the blood is so high that there's no time for gas exchange to take place. In this case, Joe is a red blood cell. The paper balls are CO2 that are in the cells lining the capillary, and the mittens that Joe is holding are oxygen. As Joe moves through the capillary, he deposits the oxygen and picks up the CO2. In this case, Joe and Davis are valves within a vein, while Anna is a red blood cell. The valves prevent the backflow of blood. The movement of blood back to the heart is also helped by muscle contractions.
All right, so looking at the structure of the different blood vessels now, we have arteries, veins, and capillaries. And arteries and veins share similar structures. The innermost layer is the endothelium, then smooth muscle, then connective tissue. On the capillaries, the innermost layer is the endothelium, and the outermost layer is the basal lamina. And so starting with capillaries here, or on all three actually, the endothelium it's a flattened layer of epithelial cells, which is super smooth, so it reduces the resistance to blood flow. And the basal lamina on capillaries is where the gas exchange takes place, and that's because it's the only place where the walls are thin enough to permit gas exchange. And now over here to the arteries and veins. After the endothelium, we have the smooth muscle. And in arteries, the smooth muscle controls the contractions and dilations of the arteries in order to maintain blood pressure. And yeah, that's about it. And they're flexible. And for veins, the walls on veins are 1/3 thick, as they are on arteries. And veins also contain valves to prevent blood backflow, whereas arteries do not.